Hey guys, welcome to the PPC Questions and Answers Show. My name is Chris Schaefer of chrisschaefer.com. I am taking clients today, and with me is the guru,
Don't say
Jason
that.
Rothman. He doesn't like the name guru, but he's my guru, the guru of love, Jason Rothman. Jason, we got a question today from our friend Molly, who has been a fan for a while, a listener for a long time. She is in Minneapolis, where I've never been before. I assume that's somewhere in the United States. So let's read her question. She says, love the show. It's my first resource when I'm trying to figure out a PPC issue. Thank you, Molly. That's all from Jason, I'm sure. If I'm working with companies that compete on a national level against huge brands with even larger budgets for top of funnel, broad keywords like car insurance and car insurance quotes, how can a small business get any traction with a local bottom of the funnel near me local keywords when even broad keywords are dominated by giant companies? So Molly, this is certainly a tough issue. So just to put back into plain English what she's talking about, big companies, let's say someone, like Geico or stuff you see on TV, State Farm and stuff like that. Companies that are household names. And she's going against these companies that have very deep pockets, going to show up everywhere across the entire United States and in their local areas. And she's wondering, how can a small business compete with something like this? Jason, I've heard you say it many times. There is miraculous things that we can do with small budgets. Small companies are not in trouble, even when competing with large companies like this. What say you about Molly's issue?
Okay, so the thing I would say about her issue is that it's not a real issue most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Try it out.
Okay,
Try it out.
that's wow. You are not valid, and you are not important. That's not the kind of thing.
Well, you're
people like to
important
hear
because we're
nowadays.
answering your question, but I think too much is made of this. So there's two ways you can look at your AdWords management, and I got this from Jeffrey Bezos of Amazon. You can be competitor focused, competitor centric, or you can be customer client focused, customer client centric. So you can spend all your time worrying about what competitors are doing, which is what 99% of my clients and everyone listening to the show does. All you guys do is worry about your competitors. Or you can be client customer focused and centric and worried about your client, worried about your AdWords account, Chris. The nice thing about AdWords is that I have seen it. The small budgets can compete with the big budgets. You just don't get as much as they get. So the first thing you can do is you're smaller, you're more nimble, and you can have really, really good tailored ads that have higher quality scores than the big guys, because they're not making an ad that says car insurance quotes whatever your zip code is. Car insurance quotes the little town name in Minnesota that gets searched for 5 times a month, but you're there. So you can take that further step and get some better quality scores. And then that's part of it. But then you have two options here, Chris. You can compete with the big guys and pay a super high cost per click. You just can't do it for a big part of the month because your budget's a lot smaller. So you have the option of going with a high bid, going to war with the big guys, showing up in position 1, position 2, but just running out of budget a few days into the month. But that doesn't mean you don't have a good cost per conversion or you're not getting good leads for the time you are running. So you have that option. And then the other option, which I do a lot when I'm competing with big names, is you go with a lower bid and you just see what you can get, because that's all you can do. Go with a lower bid, show up in position 3, show up in position 4, maybe even lower, and see if you can still get clicked on. And don't worry about the big guys getting clicked on more. Don't worry about your 0.7% click-through rate or your 1% click-through rate when you're used to getting 3s and 4s. Just show up lower, get a lower cost per click than the big guys, and get some traffic. I mean, what else can you do, Chris?
Yeah, I like it, and I think here's how that looks practically. add to what Jason talked about. First of all, Jason, I completely agree with you. And here's what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. Don't look and focus on your search impression share. That's not a measurement of success.
Don't look at the preview tool.
Don't worry about it. If the client's saying, I don't see myself, explain to them why, or get them to agree to doing $10,000 a month or something ridiculous to try and cover so they can see themselves. The other option is this. The other thing you want to do is ignore the average position. That's something that you have to be aware of. Make sure that isn't something that's guiding your decisions. What guides your decisions is quality of traffic and making sure that you're getting low bid numbers or low CPC numbers and getting good quality of traffic for the number of budget that you have for that day. And it's accomplishable. I very often run campaigns at $100 a month. I don't do it much anymore, but in my younger days, I did that all the time because that's the kind of clients I could get, and I had to make that work. And you make concessions in certain areas to make that happen.
Chris, I've got two final points. One is that nothing changes. Focus on your own account. Still try to get the most clicks possible, the most leads possible for the budget. That's still the name of the game. And then the other point is that this is where communication skills and being able to convince your clients that you're doing the right strategy really comes into play. Because yes, if you are advertising on the very expensive keywords with the big brands competing with you, you're not going to show up that often compared to them. You're only going to get in where you can fit in. Google's going to meter you because of your budget, and you're going to show up every now and then, and you're going to get clicks and you're going to get leads, and it's going to work. But every time probably your customer Googles their keywords, they're not going to see their ads. And you have to convince them that, hey, your individual results do not matter. Just because you can't see your ad does not mean that your ad is not running, and it does not mean that you're not getting leads. You are. The market for car insurance is huge. It's a huge circle. We're just trying to pick up a little 1% of that market, and Google is going to fit us in wherever they can to get us that low cost per click we're going for. And maybe it means getting 2 clicks at 8 a.m. and then 1 click at 3 p.m. and 1 click at 5 p.m. And it just so happened with the thousands and thousands of auctions that day, those keywords at those different times worked out well for our cost per click, and we were able to spend our budget getting the most amount of clicks possible. But the market is huge. We're only going for one little portion of it, and we're doing it. We're getting leads, and it's working. And if you want more, spend more budget.
Yeah, good stuff, Jason. Well, that's it. You can send in a question to the PPC Questions and Answers show at paidsearchpodcast.com, where I, Chris, and Jason, the guru, can answer your questions. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can catch us next time when we answer.
Bye, Molly. Bye. Bye, Molly. Bye.
My phone rang.
Chris, you gonna hit that button, bro? We're still on.
I hit it.
The button.
I hit stop.
Hit the button. Hit the